Okay, we have a caller that says they called in. Okay, that's right, Rep. They say you want to talk about a monarchy. What you saying? Okay, a monarchy. That's interesting. Like that's kind of a random. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. I'll queue up my comment to whenever you're done, White Raptor. You got me interested. I wasn't expecting that. A monarchy is what White Raptor is going to speak on. Oh, I got to unmute your mic for you. Go ahead, my bad. Yeah, unmute your mic. You got it.
Thanks a lot. Hey, man, you've taken me down a rabbit hole of etymology that has just opened up and expanded my horizons beyond, the natural belief of what people understand. Thank you for that. I got to let you know.
Oh, man, I'm humble.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring up monarchy, because this is so deep, I'm telling you. So Christianity and Catholic and all this have externalized everything that the scriptures are talking about. Let me quickly say that the pineal gland, the eye of the lamp, if your eye is full of light, then your whole body shall be full of light. But if the light which is in you is darkness, then how great is that darkness? This is specifically speaking about the light of the lamp, the pineal gland. Mentioned 3 times that I know of that I've found so far in the Bible. I'm going to get to monarch. I got to make these connections. So the monarch, the headstone that Jesus builds his temples upon is the sphenoid bone. I'm sure you've heard of the sphenoid bone, right? Correct, bro?
I couldn't tell you which one it is, but it does sound familiar.
Okay, the sphenoid bone is the only bone inside of the skull that touches all 18 other portions of the skull. All right, and when you Google, if you want, Google sphenoid bone for the audience so they can see what I'm talking about, so that you can look at this and see that this is called a monarch butterfly. This is where they get the very word monarch, is because of this bone that is the headstone, which is built on all the other chambers of the skull.
Wow, I got you, bro. This, you know what? This is some syncretism, man, when you put them visuals with it. Let me share this with the panel, by the way. Go ahead, you got it. Good stuff here.
Okay, so the monarch itself is built off the British monarch. Okay, this is so deep. It gets my heart pumping because this stuff is really deep. So over here, yeah, if you look at these things, you can see that it looks like a butterfly. It looks like a bat, depending on whether it is from the top, the bottom, introverted, from the backside, or the sides. You can see all the different angles. This is where they get the owl. Why do the slave masters choose an owl for their depictions? Because the owl can rotate its head 360 degrees. Okay, and that represents 3 6s, because this is a system. It's a 666 system. So this is the when Jesus. Now we look at this bone here and we connect this to the monarch. Okay, now the monarchy. This is where the word monarchy comes from, because this is their God, Jesus Christ. And they've externalized everything that the Bible is talking about. The Bible is about spiritual ascension within. Jesus said, "You will not see the kingdom of God coming with striking observation, for the kingdom of heaven is within." He's specifically speaking about the brain. Everything that exists, our insight, our intellect, our information, all comes from the mind, the higher mind. So now they've got us believing that Moses went up on Mount Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights and was giving Ten Commandments carved by the finger of God. This is all magic, by the way. And they use Hollywood to produce these movies that, they capture your attention, but it's all fake. So Moses is externalized as well, because the commandments of God are on the left and right tablets of our mind. This, I don't know if you can see me, but this is what the tablet, the Ten Commandments are written on the left and right hemisphere of the brain. And the left and right hemisphere of the brain being both male and, or should I say, masculine and feminine. So what's happened? Now I've connected the pineal gland to the lamp. That's the lampstand. That's the illuminated. That's the eye that they keep, that Egyptology teaches us, is the eye on the pyramid, the back of the dollar bill. It's the secret eye. It's the covered up eye. It's all of that symbolism. So now I've connected for you the left and right hemisphere of the brain, which is this is where the covenant is. All right. Now we look at the cranium, which is the skull, and the skull itself, that is the Ark of the Covenant. And you've done a lesson on this yourself about the keystone. Without the keystone in the ark collapses. So you need the keystone. Well, these people, they do everything in reverse. And this is why the monarch butterfly, the sphenoid bone, is considered the way it is. It's on the lower part of the mind. It's down here, and it connects everything. It touches everything: the sinus cavity, the eye cavity, the cranium, the temporal lobes, the back of your occipital lobe. It touches everything. So now you have the eye of the lamp. You have the Ten Commandments on the left and right hemisphere of the brain, all externalized. Now we go to the Christ oil, the Christ fluid, the dimethylene tryptamine, which is what's produced in this part of the brain that's called a corpus callosum. Okay, corpse in Latin means dead. So why do the slave masters call this one part of our brain the corpse, the corpus callosum? Well, it's because this is what produces the fluid inside of our brain, which we call the chrism. This is where Christos in Christ comes from. It comes from chrism. Chrism is a secretion. The very word secret comes from secretion. They're hiding this secret of the secretion that exists inside of the corpus callosum, a dead part of the brain, which is a corpse. And that is what America is. It is a corporation today. It is not a country. Okay, it's a dead corporation. This is why they want you to file a fictitious business license. This is why you have to sign certain things. I want everybody to know that everybody on this plane of existence, we have all, if there's any truth to the Bible, we've all taken the mark of the beast. You take the mark of the beast right when you're spit from the womb, and they give you a vaccination, or they give you a birth certificate, or they give you a social security card. But what is the very first market? The very first market that exists was when Jesus was going through the marketplace. The market is the first mark. And what did they sell mostly at market and bargain and stuff with? Pots, pottery, and bread. Bread is bread is a metaphor for cheddar, for cheese, for the money, for the power. For that was the first sign of the mark, was the money. The bread means money in this metaphor that I'm sharing with you. And monetary in English gematria means 666. So now I've connected the mind, the higher mind, this is the God brain, the cerebrum, to the lower brain, which is the cerebellum. The cerebellum, this is where you get the God's Elohim. In the beginning, God Elohim. God in this parable is Elohim, which is a plural of Eloah. God's in the ordinary sense, but specifically used of a supreme creator. this is confirmed in Revelations 13:15, which says that the second beast was permitted to breathe into the image of the first beast so that the image could speak and cause those that didn't worship it to be killed. So there was a god or when I say gods or I think of gods or I say gods, I'm talking about mankind created on the sixth day of creation. Revelations chapter 18 verse 18 is exactly talking about the sixth day of creation. Look at the parable. The parable starts, here's a call with wisdom. So wisdom is Sophius, it is the feminine, it is the feminine mind. And then it says, let him who has insight. Insight is the mind. That is the definition for the mind. So everything that we see, perceive, and everything comes from the mind. Let him who has insight calculate the number of the beast. The very first time that beast is used in the Bible is Genesis 1:25, when God creates the beast of the field, each according to their kind. This is a hidden parable for God created the United Nations, each according to their kinds. So it's a hidden. The scriptures are hidden texts. They are riddles, and they're meant to be figured out. So now we move on to the white horse. I don't know if everybody's still here with me, but now I'm going to ask you, brother.
Yeah, I was just finna tell you we still here with you. You've been going a minute there, man. I tell you what, how about we transition here then? Since you kind of going into the biblical decoding, and I have been researching, lately I've been speaking about Déjà Vu. I just put a video out about Déjà Vu. And the thing about Déjà Vu, I think that it proves time isn't fixed. And I think when we read the Bible from, from a Gnostic perspective, how you just did there, that the Bible actually say that when it says like it was written, all things must be fulfilled. It's talking like, I don't know if you guys ever generated a video using an AI prompt and you have to write it before the video is generated. It was written, because the Bible says in the beginning was the word. What are the ancients trying to tell us? Why are they keep repeating in the beginning was the word before anything else manifested? Then one way I said that could make sense if our reality is a simulation and everything was pre-written before it's carried out, because the Mayan taught that the past, present, and future is already manifested. And if that's true, guess what? It will explain Déjà Vu, because look, you can't remember something that hasn't happened before. I can remember yesterday because it happened. I can remember it. But if it had happened before, how I can remember it? According to the ancients, we can remember the future because it's already happened. Now that's some crazy shit. And people would have questions. Well, how is that so? It's very simple if you have time to break it down for someone who's patient to try to understand it. But I'll turn the mic over there.
So if you would now, I would ask you to pull up a picture of the hippocampus. All right, we're going to look at the hippocampus, and this is the white horse that Jesus Christ rides in on. You see, I keep trying to tell everybody the Bible is externalized. The book of Enoch was about spiritual ascension. Okay, what they did is they took the spiritual ascension end of it and they gave us astronauts. Now they tell us if you want to get out of here, you got to look to the sky and we're going to fly out of here like that. Well, that's horseshit, because we have a firmament that is above us. So
that's why the Bible say no flesh and blood can enter the kingdom. They was talking about the heavens above. You got to have an out of body experience.
Yeah, but the heavens above,
bro. So get this. This is where it all falls apart, because I've went real deep into studying this etymology. All right, let's look at all the gods in the Bible real quick. I'm going to run them through you. You have God Elohim in the very beginning. God created the heaven and earth. If you look at the vowels that are injected here into our language, because vowels are the mark of the beast. The Hebrew language didn't have didn't have vowels. And
I hear a lot of people say that, but I don't know if I can. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me show you. So the very word Ea represents the Samaritan god Enki. In the beginning, God created Ea and created the heaven, Ea, and the earth, Ea. Enki. If you look at the vowels and you look at A-E-I-O-U, it's plainly saying Enki, I-O-U. So I'm saying that everything that was created in this plane of existence was created as a slave. The spirit, the source, the force that moves all things in place, did create this plane of existence. But what people don't understand is when he creates all the animals, the birds in the air, the creepy crawly things, and all of that, he created us, flesh suits, without any intellect, empty brains, empty souls, empty nothing, just in the brain. All we know is we're walking around, we're robotic NPCs pulling fruit off of trees and stuff.
Why would you? Yeah, go ahead.
So so this God, Elohim, when he says, let us make mankind in our image, mankind has already been created. It's down here. What he's talking about is let us as spiritual beings take over these bodies, because the brains are empty. They're flesh suits. But there's a code in us. There's a higher code that is from the Most High, the Spirit, the source that moves all things in place. That is the higher mind, the cerebrum, the cerebellum. Now, this is where I'm going to make connections. The cerebellum means the lower mind. It means the behind. It means, and when you look at cerebellum, you connect to parabellum. Now, when we look at parabellum, it means at war. So what happened is everything that we have been taught, all the evil and every piece that exists is us inside of our minds. It's taking place inside of the mind. There is nothing happening out there because it's created in an illusion. An illusion is 666. So what mankind did is they have found a way through technology, through the cell towers, and our ancients back then were way, way, way more intelligent than what we are now. They knew how to use crystals in a position where if you put them together and stuff, they create a frequency, a vibration and stuff that could
we can still do that today. Crystal grids. Yep.
Yes, they open up portals. This is how they are watching us. We are literally being watched from spiritual entities behind the veil, and they're capable of moving around. They're showing us in all the movies, Transcendence, The Matrix, Lawnmower Man, Hunger Games, King Kong. It goes on and on. If you start watching movies and stop watching them as entertainment and start looking for are they trying to show me something hidden? Then things will start opening up to you, because the truth must be revealed to us. This world, 9:24, Job says it's been turned over to the hands of the wicked. The wicked, if this world's turned over, if there's truth to that, and this world has been turned over to the wicked, would the wicked teach us about true spiritual ascension? Or would they try to teach us to put a mediator between God and our higher self? What can I say?
There you go, man. Appreciate that. Hell yeah. Hey, these facts spoken. Let's give a shout out to Jack Elinsky and Norrare for joining. And we also have Rumham Solo joining. Thank y'all, everyone in the chat room that's supporting the show. I guess there's a new feature. It's called coins or jewels. I'm still learning that, but I see all of those. Appreciate the coins or the gifts of whatever.
Okay, guys, look. The truth is out there, man. This channel, Brother Sanchez, has so much content that a lot of my lessons come from what he has shared with us. We have a job, you and I, us, all of us. We have a job, and that is to decipher the lies from the truth. Okay? And there are some people that can't do that, and the numbers are so extraordinarily crazy today that we can't do that.
To the people in the
Give me
chat
1
there.
second.
Make sure y'all.
That caught me completely off guard and completely threw me off my train of thought. But the bottom line is the material that I have learned, a lot of this content that I share is information that I've learned from Brother Sanchez. However, what I brought with Brother Sanchez tonight was not anything that he, had known, but at the same time, he expanded on it, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure y'all like and share the video. We have Project Baby Buddha joining as well. So, who we have next on the microphone, ladies and gentlemen?
Now, this is what I mean about how synchronicity takes place and the knowledge that this person has. I wish you would have dropped down on here, though, and kept the white horse up here, because this is the best part. The limbic system here, images of the hippocampus. Okay, this here, folks, is gray matter, okay? And we have gray matter and we have white matter. Okay, so when they talk about Jesus Christ riding in on a white horse, this is the part of your memory, all right? And this transfers your short-term memory, as we're taught, as science says. I don't know. It's just what I've read. But it says that this gland, or not a gland, but this part of the limbic system transfers our short-term memory into long-term memory. Okay, and it is also connected to both left and right side of the hemisphere of the brain, which is the temporal lobes. So I keep telling you all, if you can hear the message that the Bible's been externalized.
If no one grabs the mic, then I guess I can speak here for a minute and kind of respond to what Raptor News was saying there, and kind of, I guess, piggyback and build off of what he's saying here.
This guy is so wise.
Let's put the screen share back up. So you brought up Pinky. Now, White Raptor, I want to ask you a question. Do you think when you think of Inky, do you think of a literal deity? Because I made this collage here, this syncretism here. Now, this collage has 8 different gods, or 7 different gods, but in the top left, that's an image of our brain cut open. And when you were showing the cerebral and the hippocampus and all that, the connecting points you were showing, the monarch butterfly.
I was just asking him to show it. He's the one that shows it. That's kind of funny. I didn't catch that, but it's funny listening to it play back. Yeah, Brother Sanchez is the one that's pulling up these photos. It's not me.
It shapes like Inky here. It shapes like this same concept that I've been teaching on here with Yahweh and all these other deities. But if you look at the North Pole in the middle of the flat Earth, all the magnetic ley lines connect right there. So it's the same way that the body is made, because as within, so without all that, this particular part of the body where all these ley lines connect, it literally shapes like the cosmic bird at the North Pole that's at the top of the Mayan cosmos. Even if you pull up a totem pole here, this is your spinal cord with that monarch butterfly that he was just talking about right there at the top of it. That's the bird at the top of the totem pole, right at the top of your spinal column. So I was just building on what he was saying. This is the dove that lands on the cross in Christianity. Right now, I work in the dark that nobody see, that's making you great.
Wow, yeah, that's beautiful stuff. Brother Sanchez is the channel, okay? A wealth of spiritual information. Remember, this is not about material wealth. This channel doesn't teach anything that's material, okay? The material world is a made-up illusion where these entities have created what you'd call a false monetary system, but you fell into. You took, they tossed a fishing line out to 2 billion people, all these entities, reeled them in, and you guys are the ones that were reeled in. So this, I thought, was a wonderful offering, a good place to find information. Again, name of the channel, Brother Sanchez Television. Here you go, Bro Sanchez TV. Okay, very enlightened mind, no question about it. You know, it's kind of funny, I brought this man's information to my channel like I've brought a lot of other people's information to my channel. So, you know, about 5 years ago or so, this beautiful person, this human being, he taught me a lot of the scriptures too. Rap the News. This is where I got my name, White Raptor News, because a lot of times when the captions were on, because I couldn't hear because my dad was blasting the TV or the AC on or whatever it was, I had the captions on, and I was also reading. And at the end of his programs and at the very beginning of his programs, he would say, "This is Rap the News," right? And so that's where I got my introduction from, was this is White Raptor News Ministries. Now, I only changed it to Ministries because they had like shut down probably a half dozen accounts at that particular time. Because when I fell into the truth, I came into it hardcore, and I've been into the truth. So, Rap the News is another. This was a Leviticate priest, and I learned a great deal of information. You got to understand that we are all broken pieces, fallen into this realm, a shattered egg on a wall that fell like Humpty Dumpty into our own individuality. The very word individuality, we fell into duality. Duality was to teach our individual soul. That's our individuality, our soul, about what's right and wrong, what's good and evil. And that is all written on the higher mind of the cerebrum. I'm going to cut out of here, keep it short. Much love to all of you. This is White Raptor News Ministries.